Okay, Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to the seventh lecture of natural language processing. Uh, so we are into the fourth week of the semester. So far we have covered the introduction to NLP. We did a bit of text processing. We talked about uh, regular expressions for matching. We talked about basic text processing. We talked about vocabulary. Uh, We also discussed linguistics, terms like morphology and phonetics and phonology. And we also discussed a similarity measure for string comparisons, which was the minimum edit distance. We also talked about some others as well. And then in the last lecture, we had started talking about language modeling. So today we will continue with our discussion on language modeling. And as you know, at the end, we do have a quiz as well. And the quiz would start at 1:35 and you will have a window of 15 minutes. The quiz is 11 minutes long. Same 5 questions, but 11 minutes long. Someone raised a hand. Quick question.
यस सर, एक क्वेश्चन था मिनिमम एडिट डिस्टेंस से रिलेटेड। सर लास्ट टाइम जब हमने लेक्चर में पढ़ा था तो आपने सब्स्टिट्यूशन की कॉस्ट जो है वो 2 रखी थी,
जी जी।
लेकिन मैंने ऑनलाइन जब देखा जितने भी मैंने उसके देखे एग्जांपल उसमें सब में उन्होंने 1 रखी होती रिप्लेस या सब्स्टिट्यूट की। तो अगर हम 1 रखेंगे तो क्या ये गलत होगा?
नहीं, जो लेवेंस्टाइन डिस्टेंस है उसमें 2 होता है। बाकियों में कोई और ऑप्शन हो तो उसमें 1 होगी। लेवेंस्टाइन में 2 होगा।
सर
जी।
लेवेंस्टाइन की मैंने एग्जांपल देखी थी, उसमें भी उन्होंने 1 यूज किया था।
ये फिर डबल चेक। एज फार एज आई नो लेवेंस्टाइन में 2 होता है। आप कोई और ऑप्शन लें तो उसमें डिफरेंट कर सकते हैं। कोई और कंफर्म कर
बुक में
सकता
भी
है
2
कि
ही है
हाँ
सर, बुक में भी 2 ही लिखा हुआ है।
2 ही लिखा हुआ है ना, तो 2 ही होता है। लेवेंस्टाइन का 2 होता है। तो
ठीक है सर।
ठीक है ना, तो उसकी लॉजिक भी आपको बताई थी लास्ट टाइम। 2 क्यों होता है कि देयर इज ए इंसर्शन एंड ए डिलीशन, और ए डिलीशन और इंसर्शन। ठीक है।
ठीक है सर, थैंक यू।
चलें, एनीथिंग एल्स?
सर ये एमसीक्यूज होंगे?
जी।
एमसीक्यूज होंगे क्विज में?
ओके। ओके, ठीक है। So let's start with language modeling again. So in general, there are 2 broad categories of language modeling. One is known by the name probabilistic language modeling. This is sometimes also called statistical language modeling. And this one is also sometimes called n-gram modeling or n-gram language modeling. So this is one category of language modeling, and this is the category that we are focusing on right now. The other category which has become more popular in the last few years is neuro-language modeling. So neuro-language modeling. So neuro-language modeling can also be considered to be statistical in general, but since this is based on a neural network architecture, इसको एक separate category में डाला हुआ है। ठीक है। जब हम स्टैटिस्टिकल सिर्फ कहते हैं तो यूजली हम n-ग्राम की बात कर रहे हैं या प्रोबेबिलिस्टिक लैंग्वेज मॉडलिंग की बात कर रहे हैं। जब हम न्यूरल नेटवर्क बेस्ड लैंग्वेज मॉडलिंग करेंगे तो यूजली हम उसको न्यूरो लैंग्वेज मॉडल ही कहते हैं। ठीक है। सो आई वांटेड टू क्लैरिफाई दिस, लास्ट टाइम ये बताया नहीं था। सो So what is language modeling? Language modeling is trying to model how language is written. And of course, we're talking about natural language. Okay? And once you have a model, you can do many things with it. And there are numerous applications of language modeling. So you can detect, for example, whether a sentence or a phrase is correctly written according to the rules of that language. So I am eating food. So this sequence of words is correct in English. So if I write, I am food eating, so this is generally considered incorrect English writing because the verb and the noun are switched. So generally, there are two types of languages. One language is known as the subject verb object. Subject verb object. Subject, of course, is usually a noun. Then you have a verb, and then you have an object. So English is generally SVO language, but there are other languages as well in which we have subject verb object. Sorry. Subject, object, and verb. And in Urdu is one such language. For example, Urdu में आप लिखेंगे मैं खाना खा रहा हूँ. So the verb is coming after the noun खाना. ठीक है? So language modeling can capture the syntactic as well as the semantic rules of a particular language. And we are capturing this through the order in which that language is written. We can capture that order based on whatever linguistic unit of interest we have. We can use words, which is the most common, but we can use other units as well. For example, subwords भी हो सकते हैं, ठीक है, या characters भी हो सकते हैं, ठीक है. So that is modeling. So modeling can be used to determine whether something is written correctly or not. Modeling can also be used to predict what should be the best next word. So for example, I ate burger and dash dash dash. So what is the most probable word that should appear here? So let's say if I give you some options, so I ate burger and let's say there is I write something like for example sandal में याद आ रही है अभी sandal, ठीक है, fries, and let's say we have again I write 8. So all of these are possibilities that can occur at dash dash dash. So based on the language and the context, that is the words that precede this dash dash dash, and from our understanding we see that fries should be the most probable word. So again, language modeling would help you in determining which should be the most probable word given a context of words that precede it. Okay? Similarly, you have applications of language generation. So let's say you have modeled some corpus, maybe it's Shakespeare, maybe it's Wall Street Journal, maybe it's some chat conversations for your company. And once you have modeled that, you are then generating new conversations or new sentences from that model. So you can do that using a language model. So the language model might then generate totally new sentences based on what you have learned. And how does it do that? We'll be talking about this in more detail later on as well. Generally, you start with the most probable first word, let's say I, and then based on the corpus and what you have learned, you determine what is the most probable word that would occur after I. So I, for example, am. So that would be the most probable word. Then given this context, I am, then you determine what is the next most probable word. I am, for example, working, and so on, dash, dash, dash. So this is how you generate language, given a language model. Okay? And then, of course, spell checking is another example. For example, someone has said he is leading the race. ठीक है? Now this leading is L-E-E-D-I-N-G. So this is incorrect, and from the context, also you will be able to determine that this is not correct. And the probability of leading with this spelling after he is going to be very low. Okay? So again, language modeling would help you do that. Also, language modeling can give you recommendations also. So जैसे मैंने ऊपर example दिया था burger and dash dash dash, based on the probabilities you will get a recommendation. Fries सबसे ऊपर होगा. ठीक है? So this is again learning how you write or learning how English is written in general. Okay? So whenever you start typing, next word की recommendations आपको मिल सकती हैं. ठीक है? So this was just a refresher again. So, and whenever we say modeling, we are talking about assigning a probability. We are assigning a probability to a word sequence W1, W2 to Wn. So either we are doing this or we are assigning the probability to a word given its context. So for example, probability of W2 given W1. Okay? So the idea is that we want to learn all such probabilities, and that as a whole is our model. Okay? So any questions? All right. Okay, so last time we talked about the issue of estimating such probabilities. Okay? So, and we also introduced probability theory, very basic probability theory, in which you can break down a joint probability into a product of conditional probabilities. Okay? So in general, so let's say if I have, so if you have just 3 words, I ate food. So the probability for this whole sentence is basically can be written as probability of so food, sorry, food given 8 and I, and then again applying, of course, after this you have probability of 8 I 8. So you can break this also into 2. So this would then become probability of food given 8 given I, and then probability of 8 given I, and then of course probability of I. So the full joint I ate food can be also estimated as the product of 3 probabilities. The first one is probability of food given 8 and I. The second is probability of 8 given I, and third is probability of I. Okay? So of course, this was a sentence with just 3 words. If you have a long sequence of words, obviously the conditional part, the history that you need to consider is going to be big as well. So estimating that is a problem. And we will discuss estimation in more detail later today as well. So what we do is we make some assumptions. The most common assumption is Markovian assumption. Okay? So instead of looking at the entire previous set of sequence of words, we just look at a fixed number of previous words. Okay? So in other words, जो पहला हमारे पास term थी, probability of food given 8 and I, we approximate that as probability of food given just the previous word 8, not I. ठीक है, हम कहते हैं कॉन्टेक्स्ट सिर्फ प्रीवियस वर्ड तक जा रहा है, उससे पीछे नहीं जा रहा है. सो इट्स assumption. ठीक है. And so if we apply this assumption uniformly, the model that we get then is called a bigram model. Bigram क्यों? कि दो वर्ड्स हम कंसिडर कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. And if you move this even further, and you say that you do not consider any context, कोई previous words देखने ही नहीं, and then basically probability of food given 8 and I is approximated with simply probability of food. So if you do this for all the words in a language model, then we call that a unigram model. ठीक है.
So इसमें भी same Markovian यूज कर रहे हैं.
जी,
Unigram
इसमें भी मार्कोवियन assumption ही है. वो यही कह रहे हैं कि हमने प्रीवियस कॉन्टेक्स्ट लेना ही नहीं है. ठीक है ना. तो इसको भी मार्कोवियन assumption कहते हैं, या इसको आप कह लेंगे complete conditional independence. Each word is, sorry, no, not conditional independence. Each word is independent of the other. ठीक है. तो हमने एक वर्ड को इंडिपेंडेंट ले लिया, irrespective what appears before it as well as after it. After it वैसे भी हम कंसिडर नहीं कर रहे इस केस में, but it is independent of all other words. So this is unigram. So in general, you can generalize it to n-gram models. ठीक है. N can be any number between 1 and higher. So usually in practice, we have 1 grams, which is the unigram. We have 2 grams. ठीक है. 3 gram भी use हो जाता often times. 4 gram and higher are very rare. Usually 4 gram, obviously एक तो model complex होता जाएगा, और 4 gram से कोई usual application में कोई ज़्यादा improvement भी नहीं होती performance में. ठीक है. So usually why we don't use that is both reasons. Complex हो जाता model, और दूसरा, for many applications we don't see a significant improvement in performance. ठीक है. All right. So now let's move into a bit details about how to estimate these probabilities. Okay. Let me start from here. Slides पे फिर बाद में जाते हैं. So let's focus on bigrams. So probability of Wi given Wi minus 1. ठीक है. So this is a bigram. ठीक है. And of course, the conditional probability of the word Wi appearing given that the previous word is Wi minus 1. ठीक है. The usual way of estimating this is that you should have a corpus. So again, this is machine learning. Learning हो रही है. आपके पास कोई corpus है, कोई data है, ठीक है. उस corpus के ऊपर इस probability को आप estimate करना चाह रहे हैं. उस corpus से इस probability को estimate करना चाह रहे हैं. तो machine learning में ही आपको एक technique मिलती है which is called the maximum likelihood estimate, which of course assumes some probability distribution, and based on that probability distribution maximizes the likelihood, solves the optimization problem and estimate the probability. ठीक है. ये machine learning में हम डिटेल में पढ़ते हैं, यहाँ हम नहीं पढ़ेंगे डिटेल में. ठीक है. But it's quite intuitive as well for the simple scenarios. For such scenarios, it's simply the relative frequency. So how would you estimate this probability? It's simply the count of the word sequence Wi minus 1 divided by the count of the context, which was I minus 1. ठीक है? So this is relative frequency, and it's also called the maximum likelihood estimate in statistics and machine learning. So where do we get these counts? We get these counts from a corpus, and we are assuming that we have a large corpus of that language, of that domain, so that we can learn these probabilities reliably. Okay. Okay. So any questions here? All right. So let me move to the slides. Okay, let me just do a first a simple example here. Okay. So let's take a very simple example to illustrate how we can estimate the probabilities. So let's say we have a corpus. वही slide वाले corpus मैं ले लेता हूँ. So usually whenever you have a corpus, you have multiple sentences. And oftentimes when we are doing language modeling, we are also trying to model how language is written. In that case, we need to add additional tokens to identify additional aspects of the language. जैसे punctuation, for example, कहाँ use करनी है, कहाँ हमने sentence खत्म करना है, कहाँ noun use हो रहा है, कहाँ verb use हो रहा है. So we can add additional tokens for modeling. So here I'm going to add one of the simplest token, which is to identify the beginning and end of sentence. So this is a token. So I am Sam, for example, and I have this token identifies that the sentence ends. Okay? And then another sentence starts. Okay? So Sam, I am, for example, and then this sentence ends. And then another sentence starts, and let's say I like eating eggs. ठीक है? ठीक है, eating eggs. So let's say ये आपका corpus है, ठीक है? And of course इसमें vocabulary जैसे हमने बात की थी, उसमें I vocabulary होगा, वो सारी चीजें depending on your eventual application वो आपने करनी है. और दो additional tokens भी हमने डाले हुए. एक S है, which is denoting the start of sentence, and एक \s है, which is denoting the end of sentence. ठीक है? So for example, now how do you estimate the probability of, let's say, the unigram I? Okay. So this is unigram, not bigram. So isme simply we have to take count of I divided by the total number of tokens in my corpus, which we denoted earlier on as n. Okay. So इस केस में I कितनी दफा आ रहा है? पहले सेंटेंस में भी है, दूसरे में भी, तीसरे में भी 3 दफा आ रहा है. तो टोटल टोकन्स कितने हैं हमारे पास, वो काउंट करने पड़ेंगे. आई एम सैम 3 6, तो 6 + 2 8 10 12, और आखिरी सेंटेंस कितना था? आई लाइक ईटिंग एग्स, तो वो 4 हैं, तो 16. ठीक है. ठीक है. So n is the total number of tokens. Of course, जब हम total n की बात कर रहे हैं, repetition, we are counting them. It's not types. ठीक है. So this is how we estimate I. So let's say if I want to estimate, for example, M given I, ठीक है। तो इसमें क्या होगा, आई एम नॉट लुकिंग फॉर द बाईग्राम आई एम एंड काउंटिंग देम। तो आई एम पहले सेंटेंस में भी है, आई एम दूसरे सेंटेंस में भी है, और तीसरे में सिर्फ आई है, ठीक है ना। तो कितनी दफा आई एम आ रहा है, 2 दफा आ रहा है, ठीक है। और कॉन्टेक्स्ट हमारे पास है आई है, तो आई कितनी दफा आ रहा है, 3 दफा आ रहा है, ठीक है ना। सो दिस वुड गिव अस द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ दिस बाईग्राम, दिस कंडीशनल प्रोबेबिलिटी, ठीक है। सो वी कैन ऑल्सो कंप्यूट other things. For example, I, given कि I is the start of a sentence, ठीक है। So I कितनी दफा, I start of sentence and I, so count of S I divided by count of S. This is what we are getting here. So count of SI कितना है हमारे पास, 3 है। So how many times do we have S, which is start of sentence? We again have 3. So this is a probability of 1, ठीक है। Is this clear?
एक्सक्यूज मी सर,
जी।
SI की 2 नहीं है हमारे पास काउंट?
फिर से बताएं।
जो SI है वो फर्स्ट सेंटेंस में आ रहा है आई एम सैम में,
हाँ
और थर्ड में आ रहा है आई लाइक ईटिंग एग्स।
हाँ
लेकिन जो सेकंड वाला है उसमें तो सैम आई एम है, तो S के बाद तो सैम है, आई नहीं है, तो ये 2 by
अच्छा ठीक है,
3
यू आर
नहीं
राइट,
होगा?
यू आर राइट। तो वो फिर 2 होगा, राइट। ये कौन सा था, एक सेकंड,
इससे नीचे वाली लाइन में,
नीचे वाला है, सॉरी। हाँ ये वाला, ठीक है।
ये वाला।
तो ये 2 था, यू आर राइट, ठीक है। तो सेंटेंस जो ऊपर लिखा हुआ तो उसमें सिर्फ पहले में स्टार्ट ऑफ सेंटेंस के बाद आई आ रहा है, और थर्ड में स्टार्ट ऑफ सेंटेंस के बाद आई आ रहा है, दूसरे में स्टार्ट ऑफ सेंटेंस के बाद सैम आ रहा है, ठीक है। एंड ऑफ कोर्स देयर आर 3 सेंटेंसेस, तो डिनोमिनेटर 3 ही रहेगा। सो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी 0.67, ठीक है। सो इस तरह ये एस्टिमेट्स आपके निकलते हैं, and these are of course the MLE estimates. So if there are any further questions, are there any further questions? Okay. Okay, so now let's look at this example. So this is actually a data set that you can actually download, Berkeley restaurant data set, and it typically has small sentences. And of course, I think this data set has labeling for it's for restaurant review, but of course we are looking at sentences and trying to model sentences, ठीक है। तो इसमें देख लेते हैं, एक सेकेंड। So these are some of the sentences that you find in this corpus. So can you tell me about any good Cantonese restaurant close by? ठीक है। So this is a corpus, and let's see that we count the number of bigrams that occur in this corpus. So I think there are 9,000 plus sentences in this corpus. So this slide shows you the absolute counts, which we also call the raw counts of bigrams. ठीक है, bigrams are sequence of 2 words in the corpus. ठीक है, and okay, obviously this is a image मेरा ये पड़ेगा नहीं. Let me just see. So if you look at the table, the count of I want is 827. So in the corpus, there are 827 bigrams I want. Now, obviously, this is about restaurants, so you see a lot of such combinations. So the reverse order, want I, there are just 2 of those. So which again shows that this is not correct language. Maybe it was typo or there was some other anomaly while we are doing the processing. Maybe एक sentence खत्म हो गया था, दूसरा शुरू हो गया था, हमने end of sentence model नहीं किया या कुछ और किया तो, but we still have just 2 counts of that, while the counts for I want is much higher. And also you can find counts for other interesting bigrams from this table. So this table में basically क्या है, आपके पास एक column है, एक and rows हैं. So you have word on the columns, rows, and then you have words on the columns as well. So bigram आपने मतलब it's row and column ले सकते हैं, उसका intersection पे आप देखें कितनी count आ रही है. ठीक है, so there is a possibility of, because of typos, because this is a social media type of data set, तो double typing भी हो सकती है, किसी ने 2 दफा I लिख दिया तो उसका भी कोई count आ सकता है, but that would be very small, statistically insignificant. ठीक है, ठीक है. So any questions here? So based on that, those bigram counts, you can then compute probabilities, just like we did before using maximum likelihood estimate. So the probability of, so given want, so probability of want given I, meaning that bigram I want, we counted there were 827 times. So 2533 the total number of times that I occurs in the data set. So that's the context. So if you do this, you get the probabilities. So similarly for any other conditional probability. And of course, for I given want, the probability is going to be very small. Okay. So let's say you have now computed all those bigram probabilities. How do you compute the probability of a complete sentence? So remember, using probability theory to break the probability of break the joint probability, which is a complete sentence, into the products of conditional probabilities. And if they are bigram, then each of them would have a word given the previous word. So this is an example of how you can do that. So I want English food. So this is the probability. We want to compute the probability I want English food. So how would you do that? So you will basically have given start of a sentence, probability of I, and then you multiply that with probability of want given I, and then so on until you reach to the end of the sentence. P English want. So the last food English. and then slash end of sentence food. So this is the final probability, 0.000031. So it's the value is going to be small, obviously. Okay? So we have products of probabilities which are all less than 1. So all those products will multiply to give you a very small value. So any question here? So given a bigram model, in this slide, we are computing the probability of a complete sentence. Bigram language model, we are computing the probability of a complete sentence.
So if it was a trigram model, so would we have considered more than two words, more than two previous words in computing individual probabilities?
Yes, so if it was a trigram, for example, then we'll consider two preceding words. And accordingly, we will compute absolute counts for 2 and 3 words. So the previous table that you had, there was counts for only 2 words in a sequence. Okay. So how would you, for example, compute so for example, if you have it, you want to find the probability of, let's say I want 2. Okay. So 2 given want, sorry, I want. Okay. So this is a trigram. So how would you estimate this? So you basically have count of I want to, then denominator में भी count है, पर वो count होगा सिर्फ I और want का. ठीक है? So you need to compute absolute bigram counts, you need to compute absolute unigram counts. ठीक है? And then of course, if you're computing the probability of a complete sentence, तो ये फिर trigrams के उसमें products आएंगे, not bigrams के. Okay. So language model do capture a lot of knowledge. And in this particular example, it will capture not just knowledge of the language, but also knowledge of the domain that is generating that language. And this domain was restaurants and people talking about food and liking food and disliking restaurants. So you can get a lot of information from that. So you can get an idea of what foods are preferred, what foods are not preferred. So English is 0.00111. So 0.0065. So people are preferring, you can say, Chinese food, right? So to want, of course, is obviously used in multiple foods and in many scenarios. इसकी probability बहुत high है, ठीक है ना? So of course, जो illogical किस्म के sentences हैं या bigrams हैं, उनकी probability 0 आती है. ठीक है? So I occurring at the end of line or at the start of the line is quite high, but I appearing at the end of this sentence is quite low. So इस तरह की knowledge आपको capture होती है. Not just the language knowledge, but also you can say domain knowledge. So in this particular case is restaurants, reviews, and stuff like that. Okay, any questions? So as we saw in the previous slide, when we computed the probability of a complete sentence, we got a very small value. Obviously, we were multiplying probabilities which are all less than 1. So multiplication resulted even in a smaller value. So usually for computational purposes, computational that is somewhat computationally inefficient, we just take the log of those probabilities, and then of course, log of multiplication converts into sum. So you can express those numbers as log probabilities. And of course, those numbers would be bigger now, not small. Okay. So since most of our analysis is comparison, this doesn't make a difference. So log, as you know, is a monolithic transformation. It doesn't, if two values are, one is larger, the other is smaller, after taking the log, there is still one would still be the larger and the second would still be the smaller. Okay. So it's a monotonic transformation. But it makes reading the values much easier. It makes computation also somewhat easier because now we are doing additions rather than multiplications. Okay. Okay, so statistical language modeling toolkits are available. I think you do have access to them through NLTK as well. NLTK, of course, is a library that is commonly used for NLP. So these are a couple of toolkits that are available that does statistical language processing. So SRI-LM and the one by CMU. But there might be others as well. So this is just a small list. But as the other thing is now most people rely more on neuro language models. So ये इसलिए थोड़े से पुराने हैं, but they still contain a lot of information. So the most interesting information that you get is from the Google Ngram. So Google does prepare Ngrams based on the entire collection of books that it has. This is called a Google Ngram, and there is a viewer available on Google that you can play with. So this basically provides you with stats on words, phrases, sentences, combination of words that occur frequently or that occur in the huge collection. And that collection is from 1880 to 2019. I think I have this slide here. Yeah, okay. So this is the Google Ngram viewer. So you can search for any combination of words, it will draw graphs, and those graphs will be partitioned according to dates. So you can partition them. So you want to determine, for example, so Lahore University, for example. So I don't know if it has given you some results or not. So 1800, 2019. So the date range is from over 2 centuries. So you can kind of track words and phrases and their usages over time. By default, Google Ngram looks at capitalization, so you can turn that off. In addition to that, Google Ngram also tracks things like whether a word is a noun, verb, adjective, and so on. So you can assign if you look at the help, there's a proper way of determining that I want only to find Lahore that is, let's say, a noun or a verb. You can tell Google that I only want Lahore as a verb, for example, although here it's a noun. So you can restrict it. And many other things. So you can find very interesting stuff here. Of course, there's a lot of history from 1800 to 2019. Okay. And I think you can export the data also, but of course there is limitation. You can't have the entire database. May I say it's paid, but some snippets you can always export. ठीक है? Any questions? All right, so moving on. So now let's move on to some issues. So let's say you have built a language model. Now the question is, how can we determine whether that language model is good or not? So remember, building a language model is like machine learning. You have a corpus, you build a model on that corpus, then you have to actually test it. So essentially, you have to follow a machine learning kind of approach. ठीक है? So what do we have? We have a training data. ठीक है? So from the training data, we learn the model. And when I say we learn the model, it means we learn all those probabilities. If it is a bigram model, you learn all the bigram probabilities. ठीक है? Once you have learned the model, by the way, all those bigram probabilities in machine learning terminology would be the number of parameters. कितने parameters आपके model के? ठीक है ना? So all those bigram estimates that you have are the parameters of your model. So then on the test set, test data, so you basically have to evaluate. You apply the model and evaluate. Okay. So now there are two ways of doing this. One is called extrinsic evaluation. And the other, of course, is intrinsic evaluation. Okay. So extrinsic evaluation is based on whatever application you are using your language model for. So let's say if your application was spell checking, okay? So, and then let's say you have model A and model B. Let's say you have built two models. Let's say एक bigram था, A was bigram and B was trigram. Of course, models में और differences भी हो सकते हैं. आपकी approach estimation भी different हो सकती है, और चीजें हो सकती हैं. But let's say for simplicity sake, and of course you have only studied this so far. Let's say A bigram है और B trigram. And then you use both of these models for spell, you can say correction. ठीक है? So जो bigram model है वो पिछले word को देख के अगले word की probability या spell correction कह लें या recommendation कह लें या word recommendation कह लें, ठीक है? So based on the previous word you are recommending the next word, ठीक है? So based on the evaluation of this language model on spell correction, you determine whether A is better or B is better. So for example, let's say the accuracy of spell correction of A is that greater than that for B. Let's say for spell correction. So then we say that A is a better model. Okay? So this is extrinsic, and of course, as I said, it depends on whatever extrinsic application is your focus, and you use that application to evaluate multiple language models. Okay, and जो measure use होगा वो उस application का measure होगा. For example, spell correction में accuracy use हो रही है, कोई और let's say classification, for example language generation कर रहे हैं, उसमें as we will see later on कोई और measure use होते हैं, let's say blue score use होता है या root score use होता है. So based on that we check for which model is better. ठीक है. So इसका जो limitation है, extrinsic of course is good, it's accurate, but limitation is that it is time consuming. You have to run the entire application, feed one model, and get the accuracy for that application. Feed the other model, then get the accuracy for the other model. So there is a slightly quicker approach, which is based on a measure, and this approach is intrinsic, and we use a measure called perplexity. Okay. So here again, we train the model on a training set, but now we apply the model directly on the test set. In other words, we say that once we have trained the model on a training set, हम देखते हैं कि वो टेस्ट सेट पे कितना अच्छा फिट हो रहा है. सिर्फ फिटिंग चेक कर रहे हैं हम, और उस फिटिंग की एक्यूरेसी हम perplexity या उसकी मेजर जो है वो perplexity है. And perplexity is very simple. It's the inverse of probability. ठीक है. So let's maybe take an example. ठीक है. So okay, let me just have a sentence. Let's say I live in Lahore, and let's say this is my text, my test corpus. Training मैंने कर ली हुई है पहले, and let's say मैं Unigram model की बात कर रहा हूँ. ठीक है. So Unigram model में इस sentence की probability क्या होगी? So probability of I होगा, probability of live होगा, probability of in होगा, probability of Lahore होगा. इन सब का product होगा, right? So of course, as we saw before, your product, each probability would be small. This product will also be very small. Okay. So perplexity is simply the inverse of this. Is basically is equal to 1 over वही जो पूरा सारा था, probability of I, probability of live, probability of in, probability of Lahore. ठीक है. So it's the inverse of that, and as such, it would be a value that is greater than 1. ठीक है. So this is perplexity, and this is computed on the test set, not on the training set. Of course, training set में value different होगी and generally better होगी test set से. So हम वो वाला language model फिर prefer करेंगे जिसकी perplexity on the test set ज़्यादा होगी या थोड़ी होगी? Can someone quickly tell me? Preference किसकी होगी? Higher perplexity or lower perplexity?
लोअर की.
So denominator में मेरे पास probability of the words हैं, probability of the sentence है. तो अच्छा मॉडल होगा तो probability of the sentence क्या होगा?
ज्यादा होगी सर.
तो probability of the sentence ज़्यादा होगी, तो इसका मतलब perplexity कम बेहतर होगी. ठीक है ना? So lower perplexity is better. ठीक है ना? So extrinsic evaluation क्या है? आप लैंग्वेज मॉडल को जो भी आपकी एप्लीकेशन है उसके बेसिस पे आप इवेलुएट करें, एंड ऑफ कोर्स हर एक एप्लीकेशन का अपना मेजर होगा. इंट्रिंसिक इवेल्युएशन ये है कि आपने किसी ट्रेनिंग कॉर्पस पे तो लैंग्वेज मॉडल लर्न कर लिया, आप एक कोई होल्ड आउट कॉर्पस रख लें, टेस्ट कॉर्पस रख लें, उस पे फिर वही अप्लाई कर दें मॉडल, मतलब वो अप्लाई करके देखें कि वो मॉडल उस टेस्ट सेट को जनरेट कर पाता है कि नहीं पाता, मतलब उसकी प्रोबेबिलिटी निकालें, एंड जस्ट टेक द इनवर्स ऑफ दैट, सो दैट इज गोइंग टू बी योर परप्लेक्सिटी। ठीक है, so we are actually coming close to time, so let me show you okay, let's look at this slide. So lower perplexity means better models. So we have a table here. ये मेरे से लैंग्वेज मॉडल वाज ट्रेन्ड ऑन आई थिंक वॉल स्ट्रीट जर्नल, यहाँ कहीं लिखा होगा, मुझे पता नहीं चल रहा. I think it was trained on Wall Street Journal and also tested on Wall Street Journal, some holdout data set of the Wall Street Journal. So Wall Street Journal is a popular text corpus. Basically Wall Street Journal के collection of उनके जो magazines हैं उनकी collection है. So if you use the unigram model for testing, you get a perplexity of 962. So if you use a bigram, you get a 170. If you use a trigram, you get 109. So the perplexity is decreasing for language models of higher order. So in other words, higher order language models are performing better. Okay? But as you go beyond some value n, the performance may taper off or even increase. And that is because of noise in the data. I mean, I wouldn't say noise, ambiguity and uncertainty of natural language. Okay? Natural language is ambiguous, so 2-3 तक तो वो मॉडल परफॉर्मेंस इंप्रूव हो रही है, 4-5 पे जाएंगे तो परफॉर्मेंस शायद डिक्रीज होने शुरू हो जाए. ठीक है, so let's move on. So now let's move on to the issue with MLE. So maximum likelihood estimate, of course, is a way of estimating the probabilities, but it does have some issues, and those issues are kind of magnified in the context of natural language modeling. So we will see that in the remaining of this section. So basically, we have used the Shakespeare corpus and then generated okay, let me move to the next slide. So think about the Shakespeare, the entire writings of Shakespeare as a corpus. Okay? And we actually looked at this corpus earlier on as well when we talked about vocabulary. So there are 884,000 words in this corpus. And there are over 29,000 distinct words in this corpus. So the types are over 29,000. The tokens are over 880,000. Okay? So if you have over 29,000 types, distinct words, how many possible bigrams can you have? Okay? But the distinct bigram that Shakespeare had was 300,000. But theoretically, what is the maximum possible number of bigrams for 29,000 distinct words? पहली पोजीशन पे एक वर्ड हो सकता है, वो वर्ड 29,000 में से कोई भी हो सकता है. दूसरी पोजीशन में भी एक और वर्ड हो सकता है, वो भी 29,000 में कोई भी हो सकता है. तो टोटल नंबर ऑफ डिस्टिंक्ट बाइग्राम्स कितने हो जाएंगे? 2 raised to power of 29,000. 2 raised to power 29,000. That's a huge number. Theoretically, there are a lot of possible bigrams, but उसने actual कितने लिखे हैं? सिर्फ 300,000. ठीक है? Because most of the others don't make any sense. ठीक है? So I think this is a huge number लिखा हुआ है. So 844 million possible bigrams. उसमें सिर्फ 300,000 है. So in other words, so 99%, over 99% of the bigrams, theoretically possible bigrams, never occurred in the corpus. So in other words, they had a count of 0. Okay? So this is an issue, because when you estimate, you will get a probability that is 0. And as we saw, perplexity is 1 over probability. So perplexity would be undefined. You're defining with a 0 probability. And also, of course, whenever you have a product of probability, कहीं भी 0 आ जाए तो वो सारा को 0 कर देगा. So that's undesirable. ठीक है ना? Even if all the other words are of high probability, एक बीच में 0 आ गया तो सबको वो 0 कर देगा. ठीक है? So मेरे ख्याल से I will stop here. We have ran out of time. So 1:35 पे आपका quiz start हो रहा है. So if a couple of minutes हैं तो किसी का कोई quick question है तो पूछ सकता है.
So with the case of 0 probabilities, don't we apply some sort of smoothing to ensure that the product doesn't go to 0?
Yeah, exactly. That's what we are going to do. The rest of this chapter or section is about smoothing and ways of making better estimates. Okay. Any other question? Okay, I think most of you are then getting ready for the quiz. Let me make one of the TAs the host, because I think I will be logging off in a couple of minutes.
There are total 23 attendants on the attendance sheet. I can see around 29 participants here. आप लोग kindly अपना roll number जो है वो sheet पे fill कर दें attendance के लिए please. Those who are attempting the quiz.